Clear the road, ally, clear the road. Let the slave them pass. We freedom. Hi, I'm Tasha Childres. These are some of the words spoken on Emancipation Day in the Virgin Islands on July 3rd, 1848. Today, I'm here to inform you of Virgin Islands all inhabitants, slave trade and piracy, emancipation, and US settlement. Now that you know what you're going to be informing me about, let's begin with the early inhabitants. The first inhabitants of the Virgin Islands were known as Siboney, Arawaks, and Caribs. Christopher Columbus first visited these islands in 1493. The people who he came in contact with we called Indians. Christopher Columbus then renamed the islands the Virgins, referring to St. Ursula and her 11,000 virgins. After Columbus's visit, there was no known exploration or colonization. However, the Spanish in Puerto Rico did raid the island. In 1587, they were known to have Indian habitation. However, in 1627, there were no known Indian habitation. This is when many countries decided to take interest in the Virgins. These countries included Holland, Denmark, Spain, France, and the Knights of Malta. England and Holland colonized St. Croix in the 1620s. The Spanish invaded the colony, and the French removed the Spanish and took over. In 1733, French colonized St. Croix. The Danish West India Company decided to settle in St. Thomas in 1655. They failed, however, in 1672, they were able to colonize and settle in St. Thomas with 113 inhabitants. They then tried to settle in St. John, but were unsuccessful due to the hostile British in the neighboring island of Tortola. The British then seized their position with Denmark. Denmark was then able to settle in St. John in 1674 and develop plantation agriculture. Danish West India Company then bought St. Croix from the French in 1723. Danish West India Company then renamed St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John as the Danish West Indies. Now to know about early inhabitants, let's get into slave trade and piracy. The Danish West India Company signed a treaty with the Dutch of Brandenburg. This treaty allowed slave trade posting on the island of St. Thomas. The governor also allowed St. Thomas to be a pirate safe haven. Slave labored on sugar plantations, and these plantations also grew cotton, indigo, and other crops. St. Croix and St. John developed with plantation economy, while St. Thomas became the center of trade. And St. Croix and St. John, slaves began to rebel, while in St. Thomas, slaves were freed and allowed opportunity outside the plantation. Now to know about slave trade and piracy, let's get into emancipation. On July 2nd, 1848, 5,000 slaves rebelled and were freed. 17,000 were still unfreed. However, Peter von Scholten then declared what he was doing was wrong and freed all the unfreed in the Danish West Indies. This was directly against the King order. However, slave owners did not want to agree with this proclamation. However, on July 3rd, 1848, slavery was abolished. Strict labors were implemented. This caused people to do labor riots. Planters left the plantation and estates. This caused the island to go through some rough times in the 1800s due to poor economy and natural disaster. Now that you know about emancipation, let's get into the US settlement. In 1917, the United States bought the Virgin Islands from Danish for $25 million in gold. They were bought to help improve military position during World War I. The United States then renamed the Virgin Islands as the United States Virgin Islands. The residents were not American citizens at the time. Naval administrators and appointed officials ran the island until the Organic Act in 1936 was passed. After the Organic Act, the island is then run by a governor and is under presidential jurisdiction. In 1996, Wat Island was then added to the Virgin Islands. The residents are now US citizens. In the 1990s, business and economy began to rise. This allowed many neighboring islands immigrants to migrate to the country, to the US Virgin Islands. This also allowed the population to consist of many individuals from the Caribbean. The US Virgin Islands became a tourist attraction after the new millennium. Now to know about US settlement, let's conclude. Today we discuss the Virgin Islands early inhabitants, slave trade and piracy, US settlement, and emancipation. Today you heard about the history. Hopefully you'll be able to make this a location to visit in the near future.